some pitch and generate some lift. So with the stick in my left hand called the collective, I'm going to start to raise that up. And what we're doing to the aircraft is increasing the pitch or the angle of both main rotor blades. So we're starting to induce flow down through the rotor system. Once we have enough to lift off, then with the stick in my right hand called the cyclic, we're just going to find a neutral position. We're going to vector that thrust straight down. Well, we go straight up. We're going to get up here above our building, above the power lines. Now we're going to start to nose over forward, take all that vertical lift, turn it into horizontal flight, and off we go. We're flying. All right, now we're going to climb up to between 300 and 500 feet over the ground, and for the most part, we're going to be cruising at an airspeed of 90 knots. So that's this instrument right here. That's really just telling us how fast the air is moving up over our fuselage. Our ground speed is going to be indicated in the top left-hand corner of the GPS, and I've set that one to miles per hour. So right now, approaching 100 miles an hour. Now we're over 100 miles an hour. It's never really going to feel quite as fast as that would indicate, because the higher above the ground we travel, the further away our points of reference are, and the slower everything will appear to us. So as we come over this bridge line, about 500 feet over the ground, and 110 miles per hour. All right, now as we start to look in front of us, you can see the Royal Gorge Road, the bridge, the park area. This area has changed a lot in recent history because we had a forest fire over here back in June of 2013. It started on the south side, burned across to the north side, and then would have burned from our right to our left. 3,000 acres of forest total burned down, and 48 of 52 structures over at the Royal Gorge Park. So thankfully the bridge was not one of them, but they had to replace everything here on the north side and all but a couple structures on the south side. At the time, pretty devastating, but all said and done, rebuilt, is actually a much nicer park today than it was then. So it was really much needed upgrade, and they went from Old West and rustic to more action adventure, modern. And until this year with the COVID stuff coming through, it's been record years every single year, so we'll probably pick that up again next year. Now here you can see the Royal Gorge Bridge. It's 955 feet tall, and at 955 feet tall, it was the tallest bridge in the world all the way through 2001, tallest suspension bridge through 2003, and now down into the top 4 worldwide, but still the tallest in North America. Down here in the grass, you can see some bighorn sheep kind of hanging out there, some of the females. There's one male all the way at the top. We're going to do a little climbing and do a descending right-hand turn. As we do that, beautiful view of the canyon out here over towards town, and then as we turn to the south, really cool view of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains in the background there, the wet mountains here in the foreground, and a little bit closer view of the burn scar here. So this fire didn't completely burn these trees away. This has been a lot of effort from Canyon City and volunteers in the area, chipping up some of the burnt trees, doing a lot of seeding, so pretty healthy burn scar as far as burn scars go. But it's going to take a long time for those trees to come back. All right, now we're going to head in from the south to the north, up over these very sharp ridge lines. It's amazing to stare down them. Look how sharp they've formed. In this first crevice, that was one of the biggest losses from the Royal Gorge fire. That was the old incline that was online in 1931. So a little bit more pricey to replace that to today's standards, so they're going to have to save their pennies a little bit. But eventually they'll have that replaced. But they've added in new gondolas, zip line, a sky coaster that swings out over the edge, guided rock climb. So we're really excited to see where they go over the next 10 years. Hopefully it'll turn into sort of an action adventure, maybe extreme sports hub for the entire region. All right, now we're going to head back over towards the north. Just disappearing behind the Twin Mountains is Pikes Peak. The top of that one was 14,115 feet above sea level. Right now we're descending through 6,800 feet above sea level. So about 400 feet above the ground, depending on which ground we're looking at down there. What do you guys think of the helicopter?
Oh, I love it.
It's the best way to sightsee for sure.
Yeah.
Really, it's just the best way to travel, but it's too expensive to fly everywhere you go.
Yeah.
All right, so now as we get down over the zipline course, we're going to stay about 100 feet over the ground. We're going to start to slow her down by just taking a little pitch out of the rotor blades, kind of flaring back with the rotor disc. Right now we're just down through 90 knots. And as we come in over the highway, we'll do a little descending left-hand turn, and that's going to slow her down to about 55 knots. It's a good approach speed for this aircraft. If you ever watch like a bird coming over a field to pick up a mouse or a bug, it's kind of what we're doing here. So coming over, just kind of flaring back, getting on target, and then coming in for landing. And remember, after we set down, Elsa's going to be right out to assist you. She's going to open the door for you. And as you exit, just make sure to exit to the front. You want to stay away from the tail rotor and the hot exhaust out there behind it. There we are, safe on the ground. All right, you guys have any questions while we wait here?
No, that was amazing.
Yeah, so you guys came at a great time. It just calmed down.